So, hi everybody. So what's a transport guy doing up here talking to the tyre industry? So I guess the big point is that National Highways has started to recognise the importance of tyres in the safe running of the strategic road network. So our exec, a big section of our exec, went to visit a tyre factory quite recently and spent all day invested in talking about tyres, because we're starting to understand the role that tyres play in connecting our customers to the roads that we maintain. So that's the purpose of me being here today, is to talk to you, and if I can tell you anything new about tyres, then please give a big cheer for pity's sake. So what does National Highways do? National Highways is responsible for the motorways and major A roads across the whole of England. You've got some stats up on the screen there, but there's 20,000 bridges, there's over 100,000 lighting columns, and we're one of the companies with one of the most soft estate in the whole country. I think it's second to National Trust and a few others. So we are a really big player in this game. The other thing that I was going to mention when I got up here is on Saturday I'm going to collect a new car. Guess where the new car is coming from? Hales Owen. So the first thing I'm going to do is check the tyres. The second thing I'm going to do is drive out of there as fast as possible, at a sensible speed, sorry. So hopefully you get a sense of some of the big numbers. We're not responsible for all the local roads, even all of the A roads, but we are responsible for 95 billion miles annually. That's a huge number of miles that go on our network. 3 times more people than rail, so roads are still the preferred method of getting around the country, which I guess is good for you guys. And 68% of freight, so a huge amount of the UK's freight still goes by road. As much as they've tried to invest in getting more freight to go by rail, it's still not proving that successful. And then the last figure is a reduction. Since 2015, we've managed to reduce, with the help of lots of other organisations, obviously, casualties on our roads by 36%. Our target was 50%, so we haven't achieved that target, but we've gone a long way towards it. And we're pretty much the only organisation with an actual key performance indicator in that space. So we're reliant on police forces, obviously, for enforcement, with manufacturers, with you guys making better tyres, safety measures around cars improving, all those kind of things. But there's only us really with a real target that we've got to hit in that space. So as I say, everyone in the room will know this stuff. But we are starting to recognise the importance of tyres much more. We've done lots of work of trying to understand how many incidents involve poor tyres, low tread on tyres, those kinds of issues. And we're starting to really get under those numbers. 25 people were killed or seriously injured in 2023, where vehicles with defective tyres was acknowledged as a contributing factor. So that's more and more what we're starting to see, and where our attention is starting to go. Almost 1 in 5 breakdowns involve tyres. So that's a huge number of breakdowns. That's a huge amount of delay on our strategic road network. Every time someone breaks down, they are creating a huge amount of delay for all of us that get frustrated by sitting in congestion on the road network. So we need to do better at helping and working together to encourage people to do more about their tyres and to care more about their tyres and to understand their tyre condition much better. We're starting to see MOT failures significantly increase in tyres. You've already heard about the Tyre Safe survey this morning and all of the figures that were in there, including hail zone, as I've already alluded to. And the underinflation of tyres is a massive problem that seems to be, most people seem to think that they don't have to think about their tyres anymore because there's a sensor in the valve, so they never have to check tyre pressures. The car will do that for them, and we all know that isn't the case, that there's a lot more work to be done to make sure that tyres are properly inflated. So we've started to do some research into this as well, and listening to some of the research that you've talked about this morning, we can probably do a lot more together by connecting some of these research things together. But some of our research has shown forgetfulness as the main reason for people not checking their tyres. And I'll come to some campaigns that we've been running to try and encourage people to remember and to be less forgetful in a bit. So there's a real impact for my frontline staff who are out there on the network. So we've got traffic officers who patrol the motorway network predominantly, and they will help customers out that are in crisis, whether that's because they've broken down or been involved in an incident. And they are constantly coming across incidents involving debris from tyres in a live lane, involving customers who have broken down because their tyres have deflated. They're having to close live lanes. They're having to do rolling roadblocks, which means that the whole motorway is closed for a period of time while we safely escort someone who's broken down to a place of safety. All of that is creating huge amounts of congestion and huge amounts of work for my teams out on the road. I was looking at some of the pictures and videos earlier. We've got tons of that tyre debris. It would be really great if we could start to understand and maybe bring together some of the intelligence that we've got that says, what kind of tyres is it we're finding? Is it all truck tyres? Is it all Chinese tyres? Is it all one type of tyre? And probably there's some stuff we could do together in that space to do a bit more research into what that debris is actually telling us. We also have to worry about all of the individuals in those vehicles that are broken down as well. If they break down in a live lane on a motorway, we've got to get them safe, get them out of their vehicles, get them to a place of safety, including pets and children, or possibly individuals in wheelchairs, all sorts of difficult scenarios that we've got to deal with on a motorway because someone hasn't taken care of their tyres. And the more we can do to not put them in that situation, the better that will be for everybody concerned. It's a really scary environment. I know some of you will have been out there, but on a motorway with HGVs driving past you at speeds, in the rain, with water splashing up, loud noises, it's a really scary environment. You don't want to see little kids in that scary environment, or pets, or, because those are the types of people that panic under those conditions and can make things worse. So we also are involved in recovering vehicles as well. If those individuals can't recover their own vehicles, don't have a recovery contract or a rescue contract, then we have to instigate our recovery contract, and it's not cheap. It's a good, it's a really good service that we offer, but it's not cheap, and it ends up costing those individuals quite a bit of money, which they'd have been better spending on tyres in the first place, in my mind. So, what can we do about it? So we've started to try and build strong relationships with you guys as an industry, the whole sector, and to start to understand what we can do to help you. And we've worked with you, and we work with the recovery operators as well, to try and kind of bring the sector together. We're one of the few organisations that's national. It covers the whole of England, so we can start to bring people together. I was talking to some colleagues earlier about police forces and working with police forces, and how every police force is a bit different. There's 43 different police forces. The more we can do as a kind of central organisation to help bring organisations together, and this is a perfect example of where that can happen, we can hopefully drive some improvements in the sector. And we were involved with the rear red lights as well. We purposefully helped push that forward to try and make sure that everyone was better protected out there on the network. We don't want to see anyone injured or killed on our network. That includes all of our workers, all of your workers, and everyone that uses that network as well. So anything we can do to increase that safety for everyone, we will try and drive forward. So I said earlier we've been running a campaign, so we've got a trip campaign that we've been running for a few years now. It tries to encourage people to think about what they need to do before they go on journeys, and even while they're on journeys as well. This year we have really concentrated that trip campaign around tyres, and during this autumn you will see there are TV adverts, there's radio adverts running, there's a lot of social media being run around our trip campaign to especially encourage people to think about the tyre and how important it is and what they need to do to make sure that they are prepared for that journey. And it's asking people to build up good habits rather than keep forgetting to check their tyres. Every time you go on a long journey, have a think, just check your tyres before you leave. Every time, maybe once a week or once a month, whatever you can keep to, you should be doing that. So this campaign is live at the moment. It's available for you all to see and to add your thoughts to, and to kind of embellish on. Hopefully we can do more together than we can do individually. So it says down there there's 6 million illegal tyres on the UK road, costing £1 billion annually. I don't know how that aligns with the figures that we heard earlier, but you know, there's a huge amount of illegal tyres and a huge amount of money that it costs the country in waste. So hopefully those kind of numbers will encourage people to make a difference. We had it down as 55% don't check the tread, 48% don't check tyre pressures, and 190 deaths in 2023. So those were the figures. We're trying to encourage people to think about their tyre rating with symbols as simple as possible, same as your washing machine. So how do you think about what state your tyres are in? How do you think about when you might need to change them? What would you think if you were paying for a new washing machine? Would you want the best washing machine possible, or do you want the cheapest tyres possible? That's the kind of symbols that we're trying to use in the trip campaign. And then we are doing our own bit. So we've taken some mobile tyre testing stations. This is a kind of project that we've been working on for a little while. We've been doing this with fleets because that's the easiest audience to start with. So we've been going and taking this to companies, and we've been getting fleet organisations. They can drive onto this and it'll weigh them and check the tyre tread and the tyre pressure remotely without them even having to stop. So we've done 25,000 vehicles that we've tested, and 40% of those had underinflated tyres, even in the fleet industry. You would have expected the fleet industry to be at the best kind of edge of this, but 40% of those vehicles that were tested had underinflated tyres. In the fleet industry, much lower numbers of vehicles with tread under the 1.6. So I think we only experienced 10 vehicles out of a full test there. I haven't got the figures for the kind of 1.6 to 2, which would have been quite interesting. But you'd have expected fleet to be better at not being illegal tyres. But even so, there were still 10 vehicles that were illegal and a huge number that had underinflated tyres. And this is a project that we're trying to take further on and consider where we can take this next and where it would add the most value. And again, there's probably some ways of us working together much closer on this to get some input from you as to what would be the best places to go. Again, I'm thinking Hales Owen, but so that was me. 4 minutes left. So thank you very much.